Good morning, everybody. This is Bill Cloud, and welcome once again to On This Day. Today is the 23rd day of the month Adar, and it was on this day that two prominent events are believed to have occurred. The first is the dedication of the Second Temple in 516 BC. The second is the beginning of the consecration period for Aaron and his sons as they entered into the priesthood. And the latter is described for us in the book of Leviticus in chapter 8, beginning in verse 33. And you shall not go outside the door of the tabernacle of meeting for 7 days until the days of your consecration are ended. For 7 days he shall consecrate you, as he has done this day, so the Lord has commanded to do, to make atonement for you. Therefore, you shall stay at the door of the tabernacle of meeting day and night for 7 days, and keep the charge of the Lord, so that you may not die. For so I have been commanded. And so these were the instructions given by Moses to Aaron and his sons at the beginning of their consecration period. And in both of these cases, that is the dedication of the temple and the consecration of the priesthood, I'm struck with the incredible amount of dedication that was required of those who were involved with these things. That is, those who built the Mishkan, the tabernacle, and later on the Beit HaMikdash, the temple, as well as the dedication that was required of Aaron and his sons who ministered within those structures. Might it be that the priesthood was not as glamorous as some people would imagine? In other words, there was a great responsibility that went along with these positions, and as at times we know as a priest it would get very messy and it would get bloody. Considering that Aaron had once failed to restrain the people of Israel from mingling the holy with the profane, this is what happened at the foot of Mount Sinai with the golden calf incident. Considering that, I've often wondered if it were not possible that his selection as priest might not have been as much a consequence as a reward. In other words, those who are called to lead in the priesthood or as a teacher or a pastor are held to a much higher standard than the rank and file believer. This is not because they're special, mind you, but it's because they're called to do something special. They're called to something that is considered to be holy. More specifically, the reason for this weighty responsibility is to safeguard the Creator's holiness. Therefore, he requires holiness on the part of his priests, his ministers, those who represent him as leaders, and yes, even those who represent him as his people. And so the challenge to us today is no different than it was for those in those days. Because Peter says that you and I, we're called to be a royal priesthood, a chosen generation. We are to proclaim the praises of him who has called us out of darkness into his marvelous light. Therefore, we must remain in that light, and we have to walk upright before him so that those who dwell in darkness can distinguish the light from the darkness, meaning that we should walk holy before him so that we may fulfill the mandate given us as an individual and as a nation. And that mandate, of course, is to be a light to the nations. One of the primary responsibilities that was given to Aaron and to his sons was to teach the people of Israel the difference between holy and profane, clean and unclean. It was incumbent upon the people of Israel to be an example to the rest of the nations so that they could see the difference between profane and holy. In a nutshell, that's what the temple in Jerusalem was all about. It was an ideal picture of the Father's purpose in the earth, to have a holy, set-apart people among whom he could dwell. His presence among his people would be an inspiration to all other peoples to come out of the darkness, to come into the light. Here's how the Messiah put it. You are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden, nor do they light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a lampstand, and it gives light to all who are in the house. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. Even as the darkness around us grows darker, becomes more intense, we must be resolved to consecrate ourselves, to dedicate ourselves to the task that he's given us. And we need to let our light shine. I know that that's really nothing new, but it's something that we need to reaffirm each and every day of our life. Thanks for joining me today. Until tomorrow, shalom.
Like what you're hearing? become a Bill Cloud Premium Partner to watch or listen to hundreds of hours of teachings and resources on demand. Go to BillCloud.com/subscribe to start watching today.